So we've talked about types of offenses that would prevent you from using a prayer for judgment continued. Now we need to talk about other ways that the PJC is limited. By statute, you can only use 2 PJCs every 5 years, but insurance companies will only recognize 1 PJC every 3 years. So for instance, a person could be charged with 2 different citations in the same instance. And if they had not used a PJC for a 5-year period, they could actually use 2 PJCs by law to resolve those 2 citations that were received on the same day. But the insurance company actually would only recognize 1 of those PJCs that was used, because the insurance companies in North Carolina have a particular limitation that only allows them to recognize 1 PJC every 3 years. So while the law would allow 2 PJCs to be used in a 5-year period, insurance companies only recognize 1 PJC every 3 years. Additionally, as we have talked about in one of our other video segments, a PJC is a household resolution. This means that if you have a number of persons on your insurance policy, say a wife or a husband and 2 or 3 children, the use of a PJC by any one member of that family would prevent any other family member from using a PJC for a 3-year period under that insurance policy. So thinking about this and kind of thinking of an example of this, if say your daughter used a prayer for judgment continued to resolve a speeding charge of 18 miles an hour over the limit 2 years ago, the family would have to wait another year, a full 3 years from that last PJC that was used, before a PJC can be used again on that family policy. So we have to remember that insurance company limitations, these are separate and apart from limitations that are imposed by statute. Insurance company limitations govern a lot of times when a PJC can be used, because even though a person could go to court and actually get a PJC on that case, their insurance company would not recognize that PJC because it had been maybe they had used one in the last 3 years, or because another family member had used one in the last 3 years. So there are specific limitations to the use of a PJC, both in terms of the nature of the charge that you've received, also in terms of whether or not you can use one because you've maxed out the use of them in a 5-year period. And then finally, also because of the way that insurance companies will look at the prayer for judgment and only allow one every 3 years on a family insurance policy.